I'm full of blue beverage. I went to this, like, halal place tonight for dinner, and, like, let me tell you something. It was a pretty decent Philly cheesesteak, but it was so, like, it was sopping. It was so wet.
Did you like it?
No, it was pretty good. I just felt overwhelmed by the liquidity. After a while, I couldn't finish it.
Fair.
One more sip. Good sip. Alright, turn this off and we can go ahead and get this stuff ready. Con is just, taking her time a little bit, but, she'll be here eventually, I think. Gosh, golly gum howdy. But yes, today we are once again returning to Of the Devil, the long-awaited return. I mean to get back to this for a minute. And then we had the Another Code saga. And then we had me insisting that we play Rain Code. And then Con couldn't make it for a couple of days, so then we played FF12. And now here we are. Admittedly, Con still is not here at the moment, but she said just a few moments a little while ago. But it's been a couple moments and she still ain't here yet. Any day now. Dutch.
Do you think the Grink got to her?
It's quite likely that the Grink got to her. I like how this game has this is a work of fiction notification. Like, no shit, man. Have you seen what happens in this fucking game? Like, nothing extreme has even happened yet, and it's like, oh wait, that's we're like in a sci-fi hellscape. Oh, am I not supposed to? I'm not hearing anything. Oh no. Oh, okay. Not sure what that was about, but I got audio again. Now we just sit here and wait patiently for 25 turns before Khan arrives. So how was your guys' day?
I had a pretty nice day.
I went into the theater to see Michael 17, Michael Mouse. Not literally Mickey Mouse, but no, yeah. And I have to say, I'm quite fond of it. I thought it was pretty good. I will say I feel like the major changes involved in how this was worked compared to the book were pretty obvious, because the weird pseudo-fascist leader of the space expedition, Mark Ruffalo, very deliberately acted a lot like Mr. President of the United States at the time of this recording. As much as I hate to continue to admit it, and I think that may have influenced some of the messaging of the film and the picture, but from what I understand, it's still largely in line with the original intention. So I mean, like, other than that, no, yeah, I'm glad that Robert Pattinson's getting a bit of a chance to do things that aren't brooding or vampire stuff. because he did a really good job. Just kind of, it's kind of like being like a nervous, like little like New Yorker type dude. Like, oh gosh, oh fuck, oh no. He half sounded like that throughout like most of the film. I say half because the other half was actually I shan't. You should go watch it for yourself. I will say the thing that I don't want to spoil is I think they also pretty predominantly showed off in a lot of the promotion material, which I wish they didn't do, because I thought it would have made things a little bit more interesting. But, no, yeah, it's good, it's good. It was good. I largely recommend it. Damn, what the fuck is taking con so long? Shit. Ah, her computer is exploding. Such is the style of the time. Well, there's one thing I can do while we're waiting for Con to get here.
Play guitar?
No. Even better. I'm just gonna start playing Balatro. I love Balatro. I love Balatro. I love Balatro. Alright, let's see. Gonna stay. Also, I've come to notice that when I decide to do this, things generally tend to go a little bit faster, so... who knows? Maybe Khan will arrive any second now that I've decided to be a little bit of a ghoul. A gremlin, even. That's a good 4 of a kind. Nice. Let's see. What kind of cards do I have? I have 7 4s. Yeah, right, I can work with that.
That's a lucky, unlucky number.
Mm-hmm. I will take Scholar. I guess I'll do aces. You see, I would apologize to the viewers at home for ever so occasionally you hear a little bit of a gulp coming out of my shit. Oh, there's Con.
I'm on the phone. My computer's still being a bitch.
I'm getting that vibe.
How are the peanut butter blossoms?
Oh, they turned out fantastic.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Nice and crispy, the peanut butter is soft, the chocolate in the center is melted and still looks incredible. And the best part is, none of them are burnt.
So do you want us to wait until your PC's up, or do you want to just go ahead?
I say we go ahead. If we wait for my PC, we'll be here all night.
Cool. Alright, no more Balatro.
Are you playing Balatro?
Yeah, I mean, what else was I gonna fucking do while I was waiting for you?
Have a nice
Why
polite
weren't you just
conversation with
staring
your kids.
blankly at the menu screen?
I mean, like, I had, like, a brief tangent about Mickey 17, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna wait anymore. Let me play some Balatro.
Ugh. God, Dr. Pepper's the lifeblood that runs through my ass.
My mom.
Your what? Your ass?
Like, I mean, I can understand it coming out of your ass, but like
I mean, you wouldn't want to lose
through
that.
it. Like, is it entering in?
Drinking Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, that-
Sounds horrible.
How's about this? We change the light bulb and get started. Hey, my laptop's working finally. One sec.
Okay.
Okay, am I clear?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, go.
Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story.
Yeah, top 11 theories who hurt MK was a real...
Hold on a second, it's been a minute. Let me just go ahead and, yeah, okay, with Vara is Reyes. Okay, cool.
It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks at HK's managed to bring out the woodworks in just a few weeks.
Well, that always
What voice I
happens.
was doing.
Mm-hmm. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with...
We know what he's gotten away with.
Take a look around us, Detective. National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras in every street, phone in every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low, and clearance rates at an all-time highs.
What? You just about some alt-pole bullshit about invasion of privacy now?
No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along...
Good point.
London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. The pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged. And that makes them predictable.
Yeah, well... Even if there's nothing standard about HK, the department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. I'm also listening to this on the stream, and right now every time any one of us talk, we sound staticky as bulk.
Okay then. Hold on a second. Okay, so here, let me just...
Why are balls staticky?
I don't think balls should have this much static attached to them. Here, hold on a second. I can never just have, like, an audio management software that is, like, perfectly put together.
Ugh.
It's always a little bit of a bastard, no matter what I do.
It tends to happen. Audio mixing is always going to be a bitch.
True. And if there's one thing I hate, it's bitches. Now, ladies, on the other hand.
That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get.
But we can take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information to us to leak in the first place.
And why is that?
Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system.
Opt-in?
How is that even possible? Now, there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once?
You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did?
Hmm.
Understand your concern, ma'am, but optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect. It's just another one of many public safety tools in our belt.
It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent.
One would hope so. Bad chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions.
Like a safety blanket, one way, with very few holes left in it. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. The end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts. And the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict.
I see.
But those windows of opportunity are small and short. It requires specific knowledge. Needs to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning.
They have mentioned if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city?
HK is only ever struck at times in locations where optics would be down. Even with the Devil's Own luck, can't possibly be coincidence.
Wait. So you're saying, when this woman was killed...
Yeah. There was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment.
Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match?
There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes.
No footage and no forensics?
Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon.
Until now.
Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue.
Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. Which HK's the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. The only reason we ever caught him tonight was because he'd finished what he had set out to do all along.
So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight?
Were you listening? There was no list of suspects.
Questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with.
In other words, the only thing they could have, to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If we can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I can see the same strokes as you, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think?
Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not gonna exactly have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt.
And why is that?
Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk.
Well, that's, unexpected? I'm sorry. You're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified?
Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line.
Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints.
There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, doesn't exactly make for light reading.
I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to do it at first. Thought I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact.
Well, got a spin on that?
No need.
But it's a confession.
Not a confession that he signed, though, is it?
Not yet.
And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation.
Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky.
Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he?
Look, Counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders.
Don't care,
Fucking process.
don't care, didn't ask, show me my client.
2 hours or so in cuss isn't cool or unusual. And that's for your safety as well.
It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger.
He's killed 6 women.
None of them were redheads. Seriously, though. Let's speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind.
Mike's on or off is your call, Counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside, in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on.
What, did they cuff him to the radiator?
That worried about me? How chivalrous.
Yeah, my armor's practically blinding.
Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle.
Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I'd suggest you help him sign that confession.
Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, Detective.
I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad.
It would make the state look worse if you didn't get the right guy.
Is his stubble also green?
It's a little
That's
bit
a
like gray.
capital crime, if there ever was one.
It's a little bit gray and a little bit blonde.
And even if the death penalty's not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not gonna like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's...
Being challenged before the Supreme Court.
yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from... well... that's probably a win for your client, right?
Present sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the court a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people will ever rest their mind another day in their life.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. It's depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. We gotta figure out who the fuck this dude's gonna be, I guess.
Noir, if you will.
I guess.
Uh,
Carlos Flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night.
what are you... Look, I already told you people I didn't...
I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you.
Yeah, well... They said that too. All of them did.
Oh yeah, they mentioned before that. I think he said that he had like a cybernetic arm, and they removed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back there, in here, kept repeating it the whole ride over.
Hmm.
They said that they were going to help me. They knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed. Acting like they were on my side. And they thought that I could have.
It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. Need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak, but I'd like you to try and answer a few questions.
The police already.
Questioned you, I'm sure, but they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
About you. Let's start simple, something mundane, grounded, root. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in?
I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be.
As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped out the optics blackout using data he stole from work.
My arm. I got it slotted for the job. And,
Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He worked in city engineering, not a desk job. Reagan said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. But based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty utilitarian. Yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who is enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted a mod.
really?
Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades that they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present, test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate.
That sucks.
I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I'd start at all, I'd start small. Hand or an eye, test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off. The recruiter was enthusiastic. He
We'll give
said
you this
because of
job
the
if you give us your
NCDA,
arm.
there's financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit.
The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt you'd appreciate the distinction at the moment.
I worked the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know.
He's speaking freely now. Didn't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy. You must be under a lot of
Good
pressure.
with heights, probably.
That's a unique option. Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off.
Damn straight. And this crap with Long. Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving.
No room for engineering?
Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups.
He's trying very hard to not look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos?
Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights.
Rejection? Did the therapy not take?
It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything.
Then
do these...
do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars?
Not in the way you're thinking.
Hmm?
I'm right-handed.
So those cuts on his face are just from shaving?
Never thought this would go on so long I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix.
But the problems got bigger.
Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm. Watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line.
Where'd you turn it in?
Some mass turnaround shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't.
That doesn't sound like you're a happy customer.
Hell no. I'd found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning.
The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance.
And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive-ass stump for a shoulder. I've been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again.
You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself. Just in the meantime?
I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white-knuckled tight.
Indy. How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models.
If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines. I'd lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in this city again.
Boo.
This was last quarter. Maybe I could have worked out something with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit.
You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain?
Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything.
He's haunted. No, they mean phantom pain.
Arm shaped attached to me.
Oh, what, like actual like phantom limbs, like actual ghost arms. Didn't they give you something to, well,
Yeah,
wear
pain.
in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this?
What they gave me is a deadweight, 3-jointed, landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's just... It's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits. It's compatible. Technically, I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend. And the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep. Dead.
So, were you wearing it when... Were you wearing it when you were arrested?
No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so...
Thank you.
Can't have gotten too far.
So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood in his left arm only. Because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other?
Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture.
It always takes them a few tries to get used to saying fuck. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense.
Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out the gate, practically headhunted, you believe that?
God, I wish that were me.
Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company'd be lucky to have her, unlike. It's a real ass job. Paid real ass money, too.
So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired?
Pedigree? No, Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella.
That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. No corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting. But Harco is about as tame as big business can get. Predictable, like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. How'd you adjust well to her new job?
Yeah, they loved having her there.
She never mentioned arguments or disputes? Corporate politics getting rough?
I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. There's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her.
It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. Not to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful.
It was.
Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight.
Oh.
Start at the beginning. And take your time. The details are important.
Alright, Miss,
Morgan,
I'll try, Morgan.
when you're ready.
We were arguing. We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working. I haven't been making money. I haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her.
You know, actually, I just realized, do we have a character profile for him now?
Yeah.
Likes airports, worn shoes, firm beds. Dislikes cabs,
Okay.
musicals, and cashews. We would not get along. Favorite flower, poppy. Student debt, sizable. Luck, poor.
Why does he hate musicals?
Why do you like
Jealous
musicals?
over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money.
Therefore, say we're arguing around 8 p.m.
8? Yeah, must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. Crossed a line and we both knew it, so I left.
You left?
Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. While I was pissing away the time, Diane was...
Did you bring your phone with you? Or any electronics?
No. Kinda stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me.
With optics down, traffic and street-level cameras won't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit?
No, not even a vending machine.
Not even a damn vending machine, huh?
Damn it, man.
I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate.
I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is. But if my exact route would help, the cams probably. What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen?
And there's no other proof that you were at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi.
This isn't. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't.
Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with.
Right.
Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back?
Came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud, and it scared me.
That's actually a fairly solid detail because, like, if regular guns are just kind of, like, nixed completely, then, like, people probably wouldn't know what a normal gunshot sounds like.
And it came from the direction of our apartment. And I was walking back at first. But at some point, I must have started running. Because when I got back, I was so out of breath. When I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't.
You live on the first floor, right?
Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance.
You could say that you live in a flat.
We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. In the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... Lights were off. Whole room was a mess. Thought we'd been robbed or she had fallen or... Just broken glass. Furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. Checked her pulse and she was still warm. Blood was warm. And I saw
The gun.
the gun. It looked so heavy. But I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real.
Is that why you picked it up?
What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it.
Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. It's a fact because the gun is in your name.
That's not possible. Someone must be trying to frame me.
No, that was just a joke.
Well, it wasn't very funny.
But the fact of the matter is your fingerprints are on that gun.
What? But I didn't do this. I didn't. I wasn't thinking, I was just...
Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all.
Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun?
That explains how his prints got on the gun. But not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun...
So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of...
You were in shock, Carlos. You still are.
The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect.
Carlos, You admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight.
What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that.
I appreciate the clarification.
Did the police say that we did?
They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume?
What is it?
I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene.
Oh.
It's an AR module built from data taken from as the police entered, so...
Right, it's just that...
It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details.
Okay. Let me see it.
Take your time.
Alright. I think I've got it.
That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place.
Alright.
I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind.
I don't remember exactly where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point. The bed got tossed, the cushions torn. And the urn fell.
It's not bad, it's fine. Thank you.
Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me.
I see. Like so? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up.
It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR.
Well, I suppose that works too.
Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering.
I have to change the subject now, Carlos.
Right.
Let's talk about that letter that was found on your desk.
Letter? What do you mean?
I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession.
A confession? But this is just a note to self.
Pardon?
Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. So this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her.
Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them?
That's... I broke her fidget tubbies.
Her what? Her what? Her what?
Her fidget tubbies.
Oh god.
These collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters.
Conversation starters?
She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but goddamn piece of shit rental arm. I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got swing where I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room, and the cheap, dusty, worthless.
Okay. Let's say he did break her Frigiduckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing, at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's confession for the Heartbreak killings anyway...
Couldn't even bother to sweep them up. I felt so.
Alright, Carlos. Thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here, and I am going to get this cleared up for you.
What? That's it?
That's it!
Oh. Okay.
Although, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak Killer?
Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess? I haven't been getting out much, but... I'm sure everybody's on edge. Guy like that out there. He shoots people. Through the heart, right?
The police have kept the victim's appearance far away from any upstanding news sources. Unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend.
I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that's just... That doesn't mean anything, does it?
He's this slow in the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. 4:04 a.m., June 5th, 2086. One of these days, I want one of these detective games to, like, build up this incredible case, and then it just cuts to, like, a year later, and she's like, yeah, I solved that shit. How? Don't worry about it.
I didn't realize you could smoke in here.
Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee.
I guess so.
Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock.
Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this.
No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though.
Oh.
Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas.
Oh. And what areas are those?
You ever gamble, Carlos?
No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff.
I meant more like playing cards.
Oh, well then, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck.
Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're not dealt, even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win, which makes things pretty fun.
Okay, so, do you have a good poker face?
I like to think so.
And are you lucky?
Only when the stakes are high.
And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer?
If only. No, the state's more like the house.
You mean the house always wins?
Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there. And we're down here. That's why they're the house.
So what do we do?
We play the cards we're dealt, as best we can, win more hands than we lose, keep it up, and eventually, someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave.
It doesn't sound very triumphant.
The house always wins. So, our definition of victory is more like, don't lose.
Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say?
Just leave all the talking to me.
So that's the strategy. What's up?
You know, there's a saying about gamblers and strategies. Gone.
Gone.
Did Khan fall asleep? Oh no, her computer froze. Oh fuck.
Oh, okay, I did that again.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take a brief intermission while Khan's getting her shit fixed. Hey, if you're gonna do that bit, you have to make the house like a little bit blue.
That's what I'm doing. Hold on.
This does vex me somewhat.
I am mad as fuck.
Okay, you know what? You can have a couple minutes to be mad as fuck really quickly, because I want to go get a drink so I can have my vitamins. So I'll be right back.
Hey, more power to ya. I am just over here trying to go ahead and not ram my computer through with a hammer.
Wait, are you drilling or are you hammering?
I am super not in the mood, dude.
Okay.
Damn thing is still stuck on the same frozen screen as before. Ugh. Maybe it's finally time for me to junk this thing. Okay. Computer started to work again. Now it's on the black screen of death. That is not great. Anybody else on here?
No.
I mean, I'm here, yeah.
Mm,
All right, I'm back. Let me just go ahead and
My computer is.
Oh.
What the hell is my computer doing?
Oh. Shit, it gets pants.
It's like every program is crashing and trying to open at the same time.
Well, you know, sometimes computers just kind of do that.
I think I just need a new computer.
We've been saying this for like years. Now I understand that it's a bit of a difficulty for you to cobble together the money. Don't get me wrong, but are you able to like save any money?
I try, but then the gods of fate always go ahead and just turn back and laugh at me.
For like 3 years straight?
You'd
4
be surprised what
years?
happens. Dude, have you seen what I post on a almost daily basis?
Fair enough, but it's like that computer's like starting to hit 10 years, isn't it?
7, actually.
Ugh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, while Khan is dealing with this particular existential nightmare, apparently Tesla owners are racing to trade in their cars before insurance companies make them uninsurable.
What?
Yeah, no. In the process of obliterating the government, Elon's also completely annihilating his own company. Because no one wants to support that guy. Which is great! Poggers, even.
Isn't this literally just an advanced form of fuck around, find out?
A bit, yeah.
Tesla
Unfortunately,
stock has dropped something like 30% in the last month.
I've...
Although arguably part of that is just correction because it was overvalued to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real?
To a degree.
I will say, unfortunately,
Oh,
the problem is fuck around and find out is at the expense of everybody that's not, unbelievably wealthy.
makes me wonder. What exactly do you think that tipping point will be for everybody else? Just break that entire brainwashing cycle.
Nothing. But there's several other factors. A lot of competitors have, in the electrical vehicle market have caught up to Tesla to a degree, and he's just got a lot of bad PR right now also.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The optics are, like, soul-crushingly bad.
If you can believe it or not, Europe and California, two very big electrical vehicle markets, are not super happy with him right now.
You might find
And
this...
he's tied pretty strongly to his brands.
You might find this surprising to believe, but Germany, famously known for having to put up with something like this before at some point in the past, deciding to project the words Heil in front of a Tesla store is not a great indicator of how they feel about Elon at the moment. And I feel like that also kind of extends to the rest of Europe. I seem to recall a story in which France just kind of, like, casually blew up, like, swaths of Teslas.
Huh. And our president condemns that as somehow fake news, or at least it's all fake and they were paid to do that. Bullshit.
I'll never get over the fact that,
Nobody
like...
wanted your steak and mushrooms. Don't go ahead and make it our problems, tiny man.
I'll never get over the fucking part where, like, a couple days or so ago, like, the fucking White House got turned into, like, a Tesla showroom. Like, what the fuck? What's going on?
That's why I asked, what do you guys think will be the turning point? Because I believe in another month, people are just going to wake up in swabs.
You know
and
what I mean?
Realize, wow, these guys are idiots.
I mean, credit where credit's due. There's a relatively famous clip going around somewhat recently in which an older individual specifically, came to a town hall meeting that was largely against the LGBT.
Oh, that
Yeah, largely against
the
the
one.
LGBT.
Wait, which one?
There's
There was
one.
one in Wisconsin, or the one of that vet in North Virginia.
Oh no,
yelling at
the
guy?
the vet is a very different one, but that's also a very good clip. But no, yeah, probably the one in Wisconsin in which he's like, "Hey, so I always like came in here and like in support of these guys, but like, this is fucked up, isn't it?" Like, I don't know what we're
Basically
doing.
said, yeah, I came here to talk in support of the bill, but after hearing everybody talk in argument against it, I don't know too much, but they were probably right.
Hmm.
Nah.
Let's see then. Khan's computer is exploding, and we're still waiting on a line.
I'm still on my phone though. I can just keep going.
All right, let's go.
Yo, ready to confess yet? Cause I already woke up the DA.
Already? She must be new, or she must be new.
There you go. Inflection.
Yeah, the district attorney has final say on whether or not a case is going to trial. Only fair, since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty, and frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here.
Right. What she said.
That. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing.
I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective.
Sir, we have your client's written confession.
His written confession? Let's start there.
Okay, well,
We'll be happy to.
The thrust of every argument starts with the facts. What's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table.
It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. See, when we found a note at his apartment.
Oh, we're getting ready to actually like play poker, kind of.
play the video game.
See, we found a note at his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that text?
Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me.
Well,
My client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for debris. He was simply apologizing for this.
the hell is that?
I found myself asking that exact same question.
Achievement!
What are we looking at here?
Oh, the music's changing up now.
Something from the crime scene?
Do-da, 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 da. The diagram of the room. It's created from data you captured, right?
Here, non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data. Yeah.
Why does it matter if it's not GMO? Wait, what's non-GMO?
Not much these days.
Now, you see, in order to help illustrate my point, I've placed in this VR chat avatar of Freddy Fazbear. Notice
The
anything
fact that
out
he
of
happens to
place?
sound like voice critical is completely irrelevant to the point. It's just a preference.
Mhm.
Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder.
Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room.
The hell is that?
Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the face that got tossed.
Actually, that's not possible.
Oh.
Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for the debris to come from a vase, because that vase is still pristine.
How is that?
How's that possible?
Oh, did I fuck up?
How is that possible? The lady at that garage sale told me it was so old and delicate.
Oh, it is a bit.
Damn it. The one time I try and thrift shop on my own.
Well, so what? What does it even matter?
Face doesn't have a scratch on it.
The debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over.
You're saying the confession was his apology for not vacuuming?
I am. Because that pile of rubble. Sorry, I was getting ready to like say the line, and then she fucked up the pronunciation again, and it completely threw me off.
You
The fucking
You're
koozie,
fucking it up.
the goddamn thingamabobs. I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of Fidget-tech.
Fidget tubbies.
What he said. Mr. Fladd broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology.
Can you prove that?
We're taking this seriously?
As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note, and we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have been from the collectibles. Those
Oh,
things.
so
Simple, right?
the hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down?
Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that. And there's proof. Rental arm. Slap. Take a closer look at the rental you took into custody.
Huh?
One swipe of your finger shows exactly how devastating it was to the fickle, buddy ecosystem.
It's fidget tubbies.
Whatever! You did take it into custody. I'm sure your tax found ceramic debris on it, yes?
Now that you mention it,
Fine, whatever, he broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy?
Overjoyed, because...
because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right?
Right.
See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. Said that the rental hadn't been used since the AM.
Whose side are you on, old man?
It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time, where I can.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your service.
Not how I would have said it, but okay.
You're seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe that he was upset over a fidget tubby collection?
Yes.
One that hasn't even been graded?
Oh no, she's a fucking
Oh, she's
nerd!
upset.
Setting aside Detective Ray's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over the loss, but so what?
So what?
After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos...
Is right-handed.
Because Carlos is right-handed.
Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something?
So the reason why that note looks like asylum wall scribbles.
It was just because he had to use his left hand to write it.
I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice.
Oh!
Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics.
Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet.
Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of this situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood,
That's a really cool jacket.
right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it.
That's right. That coat is...
What, you gonna claim it's not his, that he actually wears an extra small?
trying to bait me into her typical low-key fashion. She must have something. Innocence playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective?
I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small?
Okay. Stay.
Okay, do you say the course, or... Oh, damn,
I literally can't raise. I will stay. He does not wear an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you?
No.
This is a game mechanic tutorial.
Yeah, sure there's no evil twin you forgot to mention?
No, I'm afraid not.
Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime?
To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence...
Can you?
Ooh, this is rough.
I will raise... I'm quite confident that my client isn't guilty, so there must have been a third individual at some point.
That's cute. Only problem is, the ARC showed plain as day that there's no evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming.
It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But that's no reason for me to play her punching bag. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart,
Hey.
but not illegal either.
And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Do you have these clothes on hand, by the way?
Lab finished with them a while ago.
What are you getting at?
It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me?
You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air.
I exist to make you mad.
Think of bullshit in here anyway.
I hope you guys enjoy having to do more work than you wanted to.
And here I thought the room smelled like.
Psst, Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad?
Just relax, Carlos.
I'm pretty sure that's impossible.
You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you.
Really?
Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easily. More often than not, it takes coaxing.
What was it that reminded me of?
Come.
Okay, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab.
Mr. Rogers' jacket.
So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce?
No. That would be silly.
She actually thought it over.
I mean, shit, I might as well.
So what the hell's your point? Hey,
Sorry. Just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune.
what good fortune?
You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She has just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. There's the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old, worn, pre-tagged firearm.
And
And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter.
is there a
Not
gas
bad.
leak in here? In what world does that make any sense?
Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw the attention to what they can. Smell, feel, see. I'm gonna assume it's sight because the blood's on the left hand of the jacket, and he's right-handed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tell me what you see.
I see a coat with a lot of dead woman blood on it.
Ah, fuck.
And you? Oh boy.
That's not gonna work.
Probably.
It's not something you can
Smell.
see with your naked eye.
Okay, yeah, then smell.
Gunpowder.
Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell.
I don't smell anything except dried blood.
Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of...
Cigarette. That's what I've been smelling.
Yes, Detective London. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation?
I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket.
If you would.
Let's see.
The jacket smell that makes you pink.
No gunpowder.
That's it! What? What about gunpowder?
Did you know that old guns have powder in the bullets? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time.
You can't be more than a few years older than me.
But not before your partners, it seems.
Damn!
See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring, and when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence.
What the hell is she talking about, London?
Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves.
Damn, they got sound guns and railgun pistols? What the fuck?
They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue.
Gunpowder residue.
You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one? It'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days.
So then his coat.
If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it.
Ugh. Well, whatever! That just means he washed it off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes!
That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless.
Huh?
His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. But would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flatt is facing, as soon as possible. Wow.
Noir?
Noah?
Whoa.
Thank you, Keanu. They're faltering now. Topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of these shootings. So it looks like he never actually fired the gun. I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times, but once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did you get a message?
Hmm.
Wait, did they actually manage to find it?
Ruh-roh. Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes?
You're good. Twisting the truth into knots. Making the facts work for you.
Thanks.
But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo with a killer.
Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She got something from the scrubbers. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting?
Sure, there was. But this wasn't from optics.
Yeah, I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubber must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means...
Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this.
God, a stick figure shot him.
That's evident.
Well, okay, the quality is lacking. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No. The scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are...
Well,
Well, it's a little bit...
Hurry.
don't look at me. I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone.
Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. Am I supposed to be British?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, your name is London, so I don't know how you want to interpret that.
But if their phone was on, its camera would be on.
And so we managed to get this shot through the window.
Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century.
There are tools that could enhance...
Enhance this image any further and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image, and there's no way in hell you get that past the judge.
Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could.
Oh no.
Oh, brother.
Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving the police station anytime soon.
Noaru.
Noah?
That photo. What the hell's happening to me?
Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know had their left hand fingerprints all over that gun?
You're referring to my client.
You'd think. We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. So he must have shot with his left.
Yes, we also established that he
that
was.
sucks.
Yes, and we also established that he's weak with his left hand. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever.
Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry.
Well, that is bullshit.
But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test.
Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show.
So, at a loss for words.
Never! I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from, exactly?
Exactly. Additional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where...
Why bother with any of that?
Because it's important!
Ballistics and common sense tell us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. Owie. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom.
You know, I'm sure that the victim said that after she got shot as well.
We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious this is taken from across the north window.
From the north? If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the...
It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window.
You. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. The photo has to have been taken from the west.
What kind of bluff is that supposed to be?
The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative.
What the hell do you mean this was taken from the west?
The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your office's ARC data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting.
And?
And altogether that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider...
Mirror?
I'm assuming the statement. Because we only have the vase, the jacket, and, yeah... Bad picture that I drew.
Mirror on the wall.
Just take one look at this clock in the photo.
The clock? What about it?
It looks bad. The clock, huh?
Seems like London's got
Seems
an
like
idea. Hey, my thoughts are green. Get out of here.
Sorry. Sorry.
If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high.
Photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong.
Hold up. They said it was at 9. So then why does it look like the clock is facing 3?
You're right.
Oh, wait. No, wait. The time of death is right. Because that clock did indeed say 9. I'm sorry. I was reading it
I'm betting
counterclockwise.
it all. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree. The time of death was 9 p.m.
Right. No mistaking that.
So then what in the hell were you on about?
I know you're small, but that doesn't mean you can just interject between the two of us.
Motherfuck.
There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock.
9 p.m., the time of the shooting. What the hell's so special about that?
Nothing. Something odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room?
What?
Actually, I don't recall there being a clock.
That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor.
And?
The only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner, and my client is informing me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so.
What the hell is that supposed to be?
An artistic rendition.
It's, very distinct.
Say less.
Sucks. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs?
And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred,
And this photo must be looking through the western window to see it.
Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m.
true.
The same time that this photo was taken of the shooter.
Also true.
But you want to claim that clock's still on the eastern wall when it could have been knocked down during the fight.
You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. What? Wait, what's this do? What? Oh!
Yeah. No. Alright.
Oh, okay. I can get extra confident if I want to.
Do you want to get extra confident or do you want to play it safe?
Okay. I think the option here is the glass. Maybe? That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah,
The
'cause
shards are from a
mirror.
broken mirror.
I'm gonna risk it all!
Don't do it! Glass shards? What about them?
Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. Oh, I'm so sick with it!
Holy
no-
shit!
And not under it.
If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean...
Thought she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed.
But that's...
Ooh.
But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards?
It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us! Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes?
Oh, I don't have to fucking prove who did it. This isn't fucking Phoenix, right?
Other crime scenes?
My job is actually exceedingly pertinent to specifically proving that my guy didn't do it. It's your guys' job to figure out who did.
The killer did not deliver the bear.
Nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds.
So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom?
That this was personal and things had gotten complicated.
I think that your mental faculties are a bit complicated at the moment. I could have done that better. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened.
So what if the room getting tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her.
You know, so you can't just keep so whatting your way out of everything that I disprove about your statements.
And we have a photo right here.
That's wrong. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence.
Uh-huh.
Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult. Maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos.
Like hell he can't.
The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west.
Back to this shit? That's impossible.
It's very possible.
The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people.
You're a very honest person, detective.
Excuse me?
That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards
Excuse
too
me?
early, and now I can steal the pod right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo.
What?
What we're seeing is... yeah, the mirror, I'm assuming. In that case. Yeah, it'd have to be the mirror. Because, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the prosthetic doesn't make any sense, and
Optics
neither
doesn't make
does the
sense.
little syringe
That's very
thing
clearly
or
not the
fucking-
victim as well, so... I'm thinking it's the mirror.
Oh god, don't bet at all. What is that? You trying the glass shards again?
Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from?
Yeah, sure, they came from a...
From a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window.
But then, that would mean...
You're looking at a reflection.
At that angle, from that viewpoint,
It would reflect the
okay.
hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client has a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except... it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk Cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever, the impotent, irrational fear of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes.
That's one word for it.
Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, I'm now going to put together a comic book of what happened. My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with the facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, he tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway.
That's... he could have back a arm! He could have stolen one!
A little stubbornness could be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got? Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it, minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest?
I'm getting Umineko flashbacks.
Well... any objections? Detective?
God. It. I fooled!
Fold!
You found it.
Found a way out.
Show me your hand, Flat.
You're uncuffing me?
In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you.
Now I gotta go call the DA. And tell her I made a mistake.
Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid. You should know.
Detective?
Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you think it properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well.
Yeah.
That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward.
Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor.
What happens now?
I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact.
Yay? What am I supposed to do?
The detectives will continue their investigation.
Their investigation into Heartbreak, huh?
Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements.
No, that's not what I...
Hmm?
Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore.
They'll die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean.
I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do?
Elevino. There's some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors.
No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Carlos. But it's my job to...
No, I mean, thank you for not asking.
Hmm?
For not asking if I killed her.
Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all...
I'm the Heartbreak Killer.
Oh my fucking
Damn,
god!
okay. Actually,
Oh my
alright.
god! Are you shitting me?
That is awesome!
The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with a singular, universal meeting, vitality, at its climax, bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor is its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Jesus fucking Christ.
I did not see this coming!
Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. Useless to me now, may as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but... whatever! Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. Wait, does it have a fucking...
Oh my god, this game is fucking amazing!
Not very a boon.
Her favorite dish is still mapo tofu!
Well, yeah.
And her
Jesus.
birthday is
Unlisted.
December 26th.
Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here must have only been enough to see my silhouette. Did you think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of the enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. Bet I didn't see anything I could use, even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? These other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean organized, even. So the corpse had a certain satisfying contrast. Except, the shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. Just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fun. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes. Each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. Kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This is all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself in my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Do people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting, and all for the heartbreak killer.
God.
Seems like a
I
soap
love
opera
this.
villain from a season where the
I fucking
writers
love
were
it.
on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He is just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me? I killed people because I saw them and wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6.
She did it for the lulz!
At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. Now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. Beer's weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every air. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off. When the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. She really just felt like it. Okay.
I'm loving this. Oh, Noir.
Noah.
Sorry, using my left is still...
That's okay. Just finished all in those spots. I took a scenic route home. Courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation and gotten a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender's work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning.
Okay, where else?
Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys unequally flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be all airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case that this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might even have overdone things here and there. Like lighting up a smoke inside of an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house. That's just a bonus.
Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too.
Oh, that hurts.
Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter?
No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. It's when she died.
Death is instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground.
No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me.
Oh. Tell you the truth, Carlos, something I've been wondering about myself. You good now, or?
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Something I noticed in the ARCS data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. Maybe you can make sense of it. Peels.
What is the... What's the... Where did you find that?
The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had a grasp in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCS, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Something contained tripexisone, prescribed to her to help modders with phantom itches.
Sound.
The small tablets. Those are tricky clasps. There's a tricky clasps too for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. That's almost nice, if it wasn't her killer.
In fact, you killed her, but...
Long nights. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. Like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever even see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Oh!
Found you.
District Attorney Rockford.
Oh god, that is a slasher.
Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried.
By all means.
I love her design.
Ugh. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together.
Thank you.
I don't get it. How do you sleep at night?
Pardon?
You do white noise, aromatherapy. Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters.
Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, as I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has that remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy. And only bring it out... shit, I didn't mean to skip past it. History, please. Log, there we go. And bring it on in the core room. Probably makes her good at her job. In order for me to read...
Should I buy a new mattress?
What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Alright,
Likes
sister.
coffee and haute couture.
Sunburn, dead pixels and eye strain. Eggs,
Eggs
Benedict.
Benedict.
Plays
Yes!
chess, shogi, idol, savant, stars, cat person, yes. Shit, this character's more me than Morgan.
I was about to say, this character's more youth coded, man.
Look, if the perspective shifts to her, you can start voicing Morgan if you want to.
Fucking A. Oh, well. Actually, I'm here for you.
Since you did kill all those people, I can read your subtitles, by the way. Me?
Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case.
Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me.
No? Why would I be worried about going up against you?
It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives?
Yeah, London and the new girl. Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial.
Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious.
I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little.
It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told me they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here?
Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all.
Oh?
I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks.
She's not using her middle name. His middle name.
He was found with the murder weapon.
But I can answer that. I can answer that in a number of ways. Fuck. I guess the arm, maybe? That may be true, but...
But then I glanced at the report.
You glanced at it?
No gunpowder on him or his clothes.
Right.
Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm modded. With documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints.
She got all that from a glance?
But I'm sure a complete lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here.
I wouldn't say it was a minute. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic.
Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him.
Hmm?
Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile.
Profile?
Yeah, Right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it.
I know what a goddamn profile is.
The profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much needed to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who is caught on camera.
Oh great, we're dealing with Willard H. right over here. I did not mean to click through to that, my bad. Or before they even leave the house.
I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it.
About the profiling. So, this profiling, it's some kind of investigative technique?
The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, with passion, rage, less. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial killer offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories.
The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. How much can his crimes possibly tell you?
That he's diligent. Almost perfect.
I mean, it may be a girl. We don't know. For sure.
Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized.
Drop dead gorgeous. Wait a minute.
And with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm.
It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time.
A lone wolf. Educated, but
All her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified
Probably
her under...
over-
Ah, shit. My bad. My bad.
yeah. Probably overqualified or undervalued.
This character showing up has even thrown me off my game. This is bullshit. Though I'm not
I like
thrilled
her.
about the facts that... No, yeah, she's great. I love everything about this design. Slam dunk. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that that in that metaphor, I would be the...
Know what I mean?
Definitely!
And considering the marksmanship,
The detective said that HK would have needed inside information on optics. Stabbing that heartbreaks in law enforcement.
never in 10 billion years.
Nice. Oh.
Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation.
This is probably going to be wrapping up soon, but if we get to like 12:10 or whatever, then we'll probably just call it in.
Okay.
Right, that's exactly how I'd put it.
On my toe! There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves.
Insert themselves? I do not ins. Don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing?
Crime meta statistics and analysis. Probably.
Pardon?
Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out, look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and... Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available.
Oh wait, didn't mean to click on that. God damn it.
With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator. Oh, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to.
That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. At least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon.
He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me more certain that these aren't his only kills.
Were the other shootings with the same MO?
No, not that I found.
Other victims that fit the description?
No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other. But they also look like a lot of people.
That's true.
Hell. They kind of look like me.
Do they?
Sure. What, you don't see it?
I hadn't thought about it.
Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice Morgan. That's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer.
You got something catchier in mind?
I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection.
That's hard to wrap your head around.
I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a...
A mistake.
Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. No wonder they're so pissed.
Are you talking about the crime scene?
Yeah, probably through the detective, right?
Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing.
On the contrary,
I don't follow.
this was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum.
You make them sound like a child.
Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win.
Your profile tell you all that?
That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one.
So, to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type.
In a city with an 8-digit population.
Well, good luck!
I don't need luck. I only need more information.
Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources.
No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes.
Oh.
Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies.
You know, if they just stopped killing people right now, this would be a lot easier. Not a very fair trade, is it?
No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil.
Fair enough.
Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more. Or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher thread count would help?
Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom.
Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah?
No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you?
Don't tempt me.
Fell asleep face first on the table. I won't even take a picture.
Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats.
Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. What people do. But Emma is different. Set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Little did we know. Toxic Yuri.
So I was about to say.
Oh.
Oh god, the brain. Hello.
New character!
Okay.
Shit,
She wants to be Android.
which means you're going to be
Means
living...
you're gonna be living with my
No.
friend for a while.
I'll just... Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long?
For how long?
Oh. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Green is not Android. Green is a different person.
Okay. I looked upset over it.
My face barely moved.
It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that.
this friend of yours? They're trustworthy?
Absolutely. I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun.
Really?
Really. Educational, too. I think you'd stand to learn a lot more from someone like Morgan. Oh, I'm getting a robot companion. Good stuff. Jesus.
Robot.
Dude, I was not expecting all that.
And this is the free chapter. We ain't even gotten to the paid stuff yet.
This is great.
Dude,
This is the free chapter. Shit.
okay, that by itself was awesome.
Made with Unity. Nani novel. Do tween. Pro builder. Shapes. A gate by nth circle. And he shall appear. To be continued in. Oh my god, I'm your mom? Oh my god. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Who? Twink!
We have a twink! Nor,
Personally,
if
I
you could.
cruel to bring someone that flawed into the world.
You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. I think you can guess what happens next.
I've never
Good
stolen
friend.
anything that wasn't already compromised.
That's, I think that's like, that's Morgan's other
I think
kid
that was
sidekick.
Colin.
Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after, too. Oh my god.
Should this be me?
Yeah, sure.
I
Gotta
can't
be
tell you
you.
how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus.
So that's not just a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends too.
Holy shit! Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. Holy shit! These fucking designs! Oh my god!
The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything.
We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long.
But it's a million times more likely than the alternative.
Someone else can voice the old lady next time.
That heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing.
Father said that you owed him.
I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Little did you know, this is actually Breaking Bad. An idle mind. What about an idle mind?
Some of those
it's the
character
Devil's
designs
Plaything.
went
Oh, yeah,
hard.
Exactly.
God damn. Okay.
Dude, some of those character designs look so fucking cool.
That's a lot. Congrats! You finished episode 0 with 29 credit.
Devil's Playground.
You also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score from episode 0. You have 20 remaining star credits to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit you finished the episode with. Oh boy! How do I get these? Profile. No. There we go. How do I buy I want to spend money on phone. There we go. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Hold on.
They have fidget tubbies.
I can't get Neko Morg, that's right. Reward for clearing episode 1 on a high roller. There's a difficulty mode? I'm thinking red. Oh, that's pretty good actually, shit. Also here. Oh yeah! Get the Fran one too. And I guess just get as much as I fucking can, I suppose. That's pretty good too.
It's Morgan time.
Magenta phone. Teal phone. Miku! I think I'll...
Miku.
I'm thinking red. Yeah. That's very Morg, I suppose. Well, actually, wait, what the fuck is under bonus
She's Morgan
scenarios? Oh! Interviews! Well, you know what? We can think about that stuff later, because we are very much over time. So that's a good main menu screen. I forgot about that. God damn.
Dude,
Yeah,
this game rules.
yeah, what a delight. I didn't...
Hey, everybody, play this game!
I definitely think it stands out in that I feel like the shock twist was actually pretty solid and a bit different from what I've normally kind of come to expect. I was expecting something I guess a little bit closer to just kind of like, oh, you're just kind of solving cases and stuff. Not, oh, you're solving your own murders, actually. Well, rather, you're preventing people from getting caught for your murders. Yeah, no, quite good. Not sure if we'll do this tomorrow or more of other stuff, but it's definitely gonna be in the rotation. I'm not sure how long the second episode is, so I'm not sure if we should space this out because we have a little ways away before episode 2 comes out. Don't want to Saconia it, I suppose. But yeah, no, all very, very good stuff. We will see you all sometime for the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye.